Okay, everyone. Okay. Let's okay, guys, we're going to discuss this trend of abuse of young boys, where these celebrity moms dress their sons up as little girls to abuse them. That is the motivation of this. Don't ever be fooled into thinking that this is about gender roles, a breaking of gender roles. Mothers enforce gender roles onto little boys. So when you see this, what they're really doing is abusing them. Okay. And I'm going to show you that it may be a trend, but this has nothing to do with being a celebrity or out of touch or something brand new. I'm going to prove it to you. Just a minute. You see who this guy is here? That's H.P. Lovecraft, the famous weird fiction writer. Here he is with his mama, and look how he's dressed. And look how his hair has grown long. Here's a picture of him. His mother was an abusive woman. She didn't like him. And she used to say he had an ugly face, right? And here she is dressing him like a little girl because she doesn't like him. And here's the man of the house, like taking it like a little bitch. This is what fathers do, by the way. I'm going to prove that with these celebs as well. The mother can abuse the child and the father's okay with it. And the reason I pointed out, H.P. Lovecraft dropped that shit as soon as he was old enough to realize. Matter of fact, what pisses me off the most is that men blame the little boys. I think an uncle of his or his grandfather said, yeah, I'll show up and visit you, but you got to be wearing pants. So he talks to his son as if he was the one dressing himself as a little girl, right? That's what all these loser father figures do, by the way. Okay. So now we'll get into these celebrities. Let's see. They're going to say 15 of them, right? Exactly. These boys are going to be abused when they get older because nobody likes effeminate guys or guys who step out of their gender roles. And neither do their mothers. They're doing this to harm them. Okay. Now, just to make sure, here's Megan Fox. She's got her little boys all dressed as girls. Do they look happy? This one's looking down. This one's looking away. And she's growing their hair out. She's not just dressing, they're growing out. Look at the big smile on her face looking right at the camera. This is her abusing her boys, right? And there's 3 of them. Here she is with the boys again, all in dresses, right? Now, what are the odds that all 3 of these boys happen to be turned on by girls' clothes? It's negligible, right? Exactly. So we'll get into this. Now we could talk about Gwen Stefani, right? Boy is a bold ballerina. Stefani, who is the mother of 3 young boys with ex-husband Gavin Rosdale, seemed to have no problem when her son decided to play dress up in bright pink, right? Gwen and her boys were attending a princess theme celebration when her oldest, Kingston, decided to play the part by throwing a tutu on his clothes, right? Notice the father's out of the picture, right? No, Megan Fox, right? So Fox has been very vocal about the fact that she still dreams about having a daughter someday. There you go. There you go. So she has no girl to play dress up with, this psychopath. So she abuses her sons. Some are quick to assume that she's putting her boys in dresses and growing their hair long out of fulfillment of her own selfish need for a girl. Of course, it's that and the fact she doesn't like boys. It's abuse. Abuse is number 1. Her selfish desire for a girl is number 2. And of course, these scumbags who make these articles try to pretend that it isn't the case when it's obviously it's the case. Like I say, do you think all 3 of these young boys happen to like getting dressed up as girls? Right. And how come she's the only smiling face in here? What a scumfuck, right? Okay, Adele's boy wants to be a princess. Adele was simply enjoying some quality time with her family, but soon enough she receives ample backlash of allowing her son to wear a dress out in public. Right? Let's see, much like Megan Fox, Adele's son also enjoys the movie Frozen and is a major fan of dressing up in costumes inspired by the movie, right? Okay, this boy might actually be into it, right? But Megan's Fox, her kids aren't. Trust me. Charlize Theron fulfilled her dream of being a mother of adopting two children from South Africa. What are the odds that you adopted children and they happen to be boys who are into wearing clothes, right? In the recent years, the actress' son has been photographed looking more and more like a daughter every day. Yeah, they've been photographed, but that's not the same as them wanting to, is it? While Charlize initially dressed her boy Jackson in clothing that most boys would typically wear, something seemed to have shirted once he got a little bit older. Instead, we began seeing her sons in dresses. Right. But it doesn't say that he likes doing it, does it? That's what they're leaving out here. That's very important. Right. Let's see. Will Smith, there's no worry about him because his son didn't start doing this until he was in his teens. He really is doing it for the fun of it. He's not even particularly dressing feminine. He just wore a skirt to be edgy, right? So we can leave Schreiber's sons, get in character. I believe this is real. I believe that in this case, the young fellow really was. Look, Liev Schreiber went above and beyond earlier this year when he let his son dress up his favorite supervillain, Harley Quinn. Yeah, his son is actually into it. Okay. So he's a good father. He supports what his son actually wants to do. Unlike this disgusting child abuser, right? Now, back to Johnson, same idea. His son is obviously into it. You can read it and you'll see it. Now, Celine Dion, her boy is a toddler, and he just happens to put on big clumpy shoes and walk around. So I wouldn't include him in this case. Being able to raid Celine Dion's claws is something that most people could only dream of, but the singer's youngest son is actually taking full advantage of the same small expensive taste. Even though she has three boys, that doesn't stop her from sharing parts of her wardrobe with them. Really, the other two aren't interested. The star certainly defied all ideas, gender stereotypes. This is bullshit. These women hold on to gender stereotypes for boys. I guarantee you, these women will not tell their sons not to be providers for women. They're full on. They're full on for gender roles for their son. When she spoke candidly about her young son's fascination trying on her many pair of high heels. See, he's only a little guy, I believe. See, he's a toddler, right? So he's just a kid throwing clothes on. He doesn't know anything. So she can be struck off this list, right? Now, Brian Austin Green, he's just a guy who supports some woman abusing. He's an ex, right? But he still supports, he's still pandering to her. Well, Megan Fox may be the one who typically steps out of her sons wearing dresses. Her husband, Ryan Austin Green, supports his children and his wife when it comes to letting the boys wear what they want to wear. The boys don't want to wear this if it's Megan Fox. They don't want to wear this. Do they look happy? No, they hate this, right? So what this is, this guy's an ex. He's been discarded by Megan Fox, and he's still pandering to her at his boys' I want to say success. So that is definitely not it. Expense. Thank you. Correct myself. Okay. Now, this guy, Donald Lug, or Lugay, however you say his name, shouldn't be included on this list, right? Because it all started when his children went missing and he desperately pleaded with the public for help. After Logue made a social media post stating his teenager cannot be located, the media heavily covered the story and identified the missing minor as his 16-year-old son, Arlo. Images of Arlo as a child circulated the internet and left people wondering why they wouldn't simply use a correct photo to better help identify the teen. Eventually, Logue shed some light on the complicated situation by explaining that his son had actually transitioned into his daughter, that he'd been living as Jade for quite some time. Okay, so he doesn't belong in this, right? This, in this case, he put this in the down low, right? So again, most of the men, most of the fathers, it's the real deal. The boys really are either transvestites or, in this case, they're transitioning, right? Most of the fathers aren't abusing. It's the mothers are. Zoe's Saladana openly shops in the girls section, right? That doesn't say her boys like it, right? The actress is no stranger to dressing her boys in feminine attire, and she sees absolutely nothing wrong with dressing them in gender fluid outfits. Really? But it doesn't say that the boys want to do it, right? The star confirmed that her boys are the ones making the rules when it comes to their wardrobe, saying they just choose what they want to wear. I don't believe this woman, right? I don't believe it. She's got more than one boy. What's the again, guys? What are the likelihood that all the boys are into it? Very, very small, right? Now Jolie's a real scumbag too, of course. She used to get tons of notoriety in Hollywood or with wild antics, yeah, whatever. Now, this is talking about her girl Shiloh. As a baby, Shiloh often wore dresses and bows, but once she got older, she began wearing boys' shirts and pants and even neckties. Now, this doesn't count either because this was a phase Shiloh was going to. Here, let me prove it to you. See, there's Shiloh here, and she's looking very boyish. And here's Shiloh here now. She's got older, and she realizes she has real social acceptance and dominance and praise as a female, and she's dumped the boys' clothes, period. Frankly, it doesn't matter. People don't get on girls' backs for dressing like guys anyway, right? The average person doesn't care. And here she is with her gorgeous face saying, I'm a beautiful girl. I can stand up with mom. And so here we are. All the crappy boys' clothes are gone. Right. There you go. Although Charlotte's fashion choices seem to be the center of most of the stars' controversy, she also been known to dress one of her boys up in girls' attire as well. And that obviously, he didn't want it, of course, right? Jolie and her boy-girl twins, Vivian and Knox, were pictured wearing ladybug costumes, completely with frilly headpieces. Okay, so she's abusing her son, of course. Perhaps her son just wanted to dress like his sister, or maybe he simply liked the costume. No, that you're making excuses for this woman's abuse. Okay, Jeanette Lanning lets her child feel jazzy. Okay, I read this through, and I think this Jeanette one's is a case of a boy wanting to transition into a girl. Let's see what Chris Evans have to say. Okay, this guy's Chris Evans' son is 5 years old, was wearing a dress in public. I think he was too young to allow him to do that because when he's 8 or 9, he might change his mind, right? And by then the damage is done. And I mean bringing him out in public for everyone to record, right? Now here's the biggest kicker. This bullshit right here. Majandra Delfino believes in gender neutrality. That's a lie. She doesn't believe in that. This woman believes in trying to make her boys into girls. And it's going to prove it right here in what they say. Many celebs stepped up to the plate in defense of their kiddos, what they wear. And former Roswell star Majandra Delfino has been quite outspoken when it comes to not having her children conform to stereotypical gender norms. Again, what am I going to say, guys? That these women are lying. They definitely expect stereotypic gender roles for their sons when it comes to being beneath the average woman on the street and serving women. Okay. The actress has publicly stated that for her son, Louis, and daughter Cecilia, she and her husband don't encourage them to play with certain toys and dress in a certain way that reflects their gender. Yet they discourage it, though, right? They discourage them doing what they want. The star insists that in spite of not persuading her boy and to wear boys' clothes and girls to wear girls' clothes, each of them have decided what they like, all on their own, usually indicative of their gender. Yeah, exactly. Reading her daughter's decisions, the milestone she is hitting that is very on the nose girl is that we will see something pink and purple and be like, yes, it's your like, wow. We've done nothing to condition it. It's just there. The world did it. The world did it. Oh, I see. So the world made her follow her girly instincts, right? Majandra also said that a little boy guy is all about destruction and trucks. Destruction, you mean construction, right? Despite signing him up for ballet classes. See, this is what I'm talking about. If she was gender neutral, she would just watch and see what her kids like. She signed her little boy up for ballet classes, trying to encourage him to be well-rounded. Not well-rounded, trying to encourage him to be feminine when it comes to interest. Even though she might want her son to appreciate her love of ballet. Yeah, she wants him to be a girl. The actress will probably have to accept the fact that in this case, boys will just be boys. You have to accept that fact, period, you asshole, you disgusting subhuman. See, this is what pisses me off. These women try to pretend they're about gender neutrality. They aren't. There's nothing gender neutral about signing your son up to ballet classes when he didn't show any appreciation for it, when he showed zero interest in it. This is her working to destroy gender neutrality. So I just want to prove that. I'm going to end it here, and I'm telling you now, all these people, well, actually all of them, the women, well, most of the mothers are scumbags. Most of the fathers are good. The only bad father here is the one who is still pandering to Megan Fox. But most of the guys, they haven't done it. You know, like Will Smith, his son's just doing what he wants to do. But these scumbags like Megan Fox are abusing her sons the same way. Where is he here? The same way that Lovecraft's mother abused him. So I recognize this for what it is. Okay, we'll end it here.